All right, let's go ahead and refresh. All right, looks like we're in business. Looks like we're in business. All right, let's get the show on the road. Let's welcome a few people. This is going to be the last one of the week. I got something to do on Friday, so there will not be one tomorrow. I almost didn't have one today because I kind of went over talking to Dr. Johnson. Okay, so we got involved in conversation, and I overshot my mark, and I didn't want to impede on Dr. Gigi's stream. So that's why it's later than it has been, but the show must go on. So I promised one today, so this one will get done today. So, so please, if you're in, as you come in, please get my likes up. It's the only thing I ask. That thumbnail. Yeah, Edward did the thumbnail for me. So I shout out to Edward Anderson for doing the thumbnail for me. Supreme Ed Moore is gonna have to catch it on a replay. Cool. Oh, appreciate you. Yeah, people think so. I'm glad it's useful. Uh, Black Pill Daily number. Oh, it should be. It's not on the playlist, but it should be. It should be there. I don't think I didn't take it down. It should be there. Grab Eddie. Grab second gear Eddie. What's going on? Dave, what's up? Walter, what's going on? I can't do that one because Kevin was uniquely qualified to do that. I don't have his fashion sense or his knowledge, so it'd be impossible for me to actually recreate that. Be impossible for me. I actually asked him to do that one for me. What kind of uniform should the Octanes wear, so you can actually recognize them? Because everybody has a uniform, right? The uh, from the lower level people to the upper class people, and the uniforms are very distinct. And trust me, believe when you enter into one of those classes, they can recognize you by your uniform. They really can. They can recognize you by what you wear, down to the smallest thing. Your haircut, whether you have tattoos or not, what kind of shoes you wear is very distinctive. Even the low class people, it's very distinct. That's why I assigned them to do it. So it'd be impossible for me to do it. Cafe, what's up? Cool Gamer, Jeff R, Eric Archer, Haru, what's going on? Mr. S, uh, Money Motion, what's up? DJ B Side, what's up? Chemistry, what's going on? Kissing Red, Kinseen Red, what's going on? And Kinja Classic, what's going on? Sigma, what's going on? Eric, what's happening? This is going to be about the women, okay? The women, they actually designed octanes for men to recognize women. I do have a male octane. If we have time, I'll get into it. But this one's going to be about the women. Tony, what's up? Abe. Oh, yeah, yeah, it is. I thought it was going to be easier than it is, but it does have a break in the day, and trying to carve out time for it is harder than I thought. It seems like if you get busy, um, people kind of, people want your time. Shannon, what's up? Black Mind, what's going on? Lavrus, what's going on? Source File, what's going on? Rising Reform, what's going on? ES ESA, what's going on? Will I drop the link? Probably not, unless it's absolutely necessary. It's only for an hour, so if I drop the link, it's probably going to be 3. So I'm probably not going to drop the link unless it's something that's really pressing. it's really pressing, it's really necessary for me to drop a link, I will. If not, I won't. Um, this is not to really give people advice on the octanes. Okay, if you want advice on the octanes, you're probably going to have to go to Patreon. Okay, unless you catch me on a live stream and it's like a one-off question. I'm not going to do a whole panel advising people about what octane they have or what octane they're dating, because um, for me to actually give you advice on an octane, I have to know who you are, what you do, um, what kind of woman you're looking for, blah 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 blah. And then I'd have to, sum all that up, because the octanes, as far as class, is fairly simple, I would say, fairly simple. But when you get into the interaction, you start mixing people, then it gets really difficult. Then and then it's because I don't have octanes to in a nutshell are really not about um, separating people. Okay, it's really not about that, right? Because um, the kind of woman you can be happy with could be an 85, which is a ghetto chick, or what I call survival mode, or it could be a famous woman. Okay, it just depends on who you are, what you need, and what you can deal with. Okay, and each one of those classes of people all have a similar training. They have, have different training. They have different outlooks. They have different kinds of personalities according to their class, and different outcomes and different outlooks, and different gifts and different drawbacks. And we'll get into those. So one is not better than the other, especially if you're looking to acquire a woman or a wife or whatever you're trying to look for. One's not better than the other, but they all have their advantages and also have their drawbacks. In other words, to quote Thomas Sowell, there are no solutions, only trade-offs. And when it comes to women and octanes, they're trade-offs. And so we're gonna get into it. They all show octanes in a different way. I just Insecure dealt with women and dating mostly, and that's why they were convenient to actually use. But octanes class systems exist in all cultures, and the black class system, you can always see the black class system in every show that you see. Okay, uh, putting them together is different. Okay, trying to identify who's who is different. Um, but Insecure was uniquely uh, actually identified to actually talk about the class system. And I think, and the more we talked about them, the more they put in, because they didn't have an 85, right? But they put an 85 in. Had a little female that was on welfare in an apartment building, right? She's an 85, so they actually put them in. And we considered right in the book. In fact, this outline is from the book. I just haven't written it yet. So the book has already been outlined. Okay, so and this is where the show is going to come from today. It's actually going to come from an outline. And this is actually I actually did this overview of the outline for Rom maybe a year and a half ago. So this is where this PDF is going to come from. I actually have a whole outline, just about the whole book outlined in my OneNote. So this, when I show you, it's going to be, you can see the bullet points. Not disagreeable. Okay, disagreeable is a personality. Um, but the higher the octane, the more demand. Actually, the more demands you are going to be on. Just like the fuel costs more, right? The fuel actually costs more. So so the care and feeding of, say, the care and feeding of a Mercedes or Ferrari is going to be different than the care and feeding of, say, a pickup truck. Different engine, different parts, less expensive parts, less expensive maintenance. So the care and feeding of a higher octane woman is going to be more expensive. Okay, it just is. Got to know that. If you get one that's not, then you're lucky. Well, these are, each individual woman is going to be different. But thing is, this is just an overview about how the classes actually match up. Okay, so uh, without further ado, you know, we are going to we're going to get into the octanes. Okay, you guys asked for it, so this is what's coming. So this is somebody requested it, so we're going to give an overview of the octanes. And this is, like I said, this is coming from the outline of my book. People ask me about the book, but this is the outline. So let's go ahead and share it. We're about, what, 10 minutes in. So, and I want to save a little time for questions. People complain I don't get to their questions. Share screen. Let's see where we at. There we are. Okay. All right. You can see the bullet points, right? Okay. Uh, and these are all the bullet points are the same headers for each octane. Okay. It's 85 fuel type. Okay. 85 octane is lowest grade of fuel sold, not recommended for most cars. Okay. If you listen to cousin Tita, okay, uh, talking about high level men, right? He called high level practitioners, right? He doesn't go below an 87. He really doesn't like to go below an 89. An 89 is mid-level educated woman. No, most like 89 is like 90, what I call 92 failures. These are the people that didn't make it to the corporate world, or they're educated and they decided to take average jobs, blue collar jobs, or basically wage jobs. Okay, those are 89s, right? 85s are what I call the survival rate, the survival group. So they're not recommended for most cars, or they're not recommended for most men that are not in that class, right? If you're a working class guy, you probably do not want an 85 octane, right? These women are still on survival mode, right? They got to worry about where their check is going to come from. Um, they got to worry about where they're going to live. They got to worry about they got family drama, okay? Because their family is in survival mode. So you got to worry about, did my mama get put out? Her mama get put out of her house? Okay, there's a brother getting out of jail. Um, uh, are the kids going to school? Or is somebody in their family selling drugs? Because all these people that who she's surrounded by have are connected to people that are in survival mode. They're trying to uh, make a living from one day to the next. They don't, probably don't have much education or much training or anything like that. So basically, these are not street people. Sometimes check people, but these are I would say the lowest 20%, probably the lowest 15%. These are the people. These are the people that don't have any income, any so-called quote unquote legal income. Okay, most women have a struggle mentality at this level. Okay, talk about struggle. When they say no struggle love, okay, they have friends that struggle. A lot of women have friends that struggle, that that uh, that have a lot of drama, multiple kids by multiple guys because it brings in multiple checks and multiple child support, right? So you have all this struggle stuff, all this struggle love that you have to deal with, right? When you go down this low. So 85s are not recommended. They're not recommended for most people except for what casual sex. Okay, I haven't gone through my 3 levels of commitment. For a book I actually I am going to write for women. Okay, 3 levels of commitment actually for women, but men can use it because they identify what their level of commitments are and fit the octanes into these levels. But the 3 levels of commitment are casual sex, which I call a jump off class, girlfriend, and then wife. Okay, unless you know what you're doing, okay, unless you have a need, unless this person grew up with you, and are pretty good friends. You know this person inside and out. I do not recommend 85 octanes for wives. Okay, at best girlfriends. Okay, most guys are random with these women, including their baby's fathers. Okay, okay. The common names for an 85 octane is what? A ghetto girl, right? In the ghetto, we sometimes we call them ratchets. Okay, hood rats, okay? Ghetto girl, those that's a common name, okay? Project girl. Project girl's different from ghetto girl because a project girl is does have housing. This is the Section 8 folks, okay? This is a project housing project women, okay? They could be living with somebody, but a project girl it does not basically pay rent, okay? She's on some kind of assistance. Uh, so a project girl and project mentality, these, they want to check. Okay. They're taken care of by people. Same thing with a welfare woman. Okay. A welfare woman is a little bit different because they could be living with family. Um, they could uh, even be renting in a low class house, uh, low cost house because she's got welfare and child support because she's got multiple kids. Okay. So a welfare woman is not just a um, ghetto girl or a project girl, but she's getting assistance. Sometimes assistance very well because I've seen welfare women living in middle class housing, and because with all her checks and all the benefits, this chick is bringing in what uh, $35,000, $40,000 worth of benefits because she's working it like that. That's the welfare girl. Welfare girls you got to be careful of because guess what? Welfare and checks are their hustle. You do not want to get on the wrong side of that welfare hustle, right? Because child support, even if she's on TANF, right, where you have a baby by her and she goes down to the government or the social welfare office and she puts a claim on you that you're the father of this child, and they start giving her benefits, you got to pay that back. So welfare woman in this class, the one I would actually worry about most is the welfare woman. Okay, she's much more clever, much more schools. Okay, hood rat. A hood rat. Everybody knows what a hood rat is. Okay, a hood rat is it has that low class mentality, right? Yeah, everybody knows what a hood rat. Hood rat is your basic jump off. Okay, uh, go to a club. She want to have fun. She want to have sex. She's a hedonist. Now, this is the one you're gonna see fighting in the gas station, 9 times out of 10, or trying to assault somebody at 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 Walmart, or getting on what is it? What is it? What's that airline where they always fly out? They're always fighting. Okay, this is the woman that's probably gonna be fighting in the ticket counter, the hood rat. Okay, the if you're gonna pick any woman out of this class, right? Okay, you want the basic girl. Anybody out of this class, you want the basic girl. That's the one you want. Why? Why do you want the basic girl? Is because the basic girl is the one that doesn't really get into trouble. Her mother probably watched her and kept her in. Okay, she's not necessarily smart. She can't get out of the out of the hood, but she's basic, right? She's basic. You could marry her. She may be taught to clean up. She might have some basic cooking. She's trainable, but above a housewife, a regular housewife, or a regular guy, She's not too well trained. But a ghetto girl, the ghetto girl is probably a girl that's trying to get out of the hood. I can say that. The ghetto girl's probably trying to get out of the hood. The basic girl and the ghetto girl, if you're gonna go for any one of these are the two. The ghetto girl's probably a climber. Okay. But the basic girl, she's a plain Jane, right? Okay. Next, strengths. Okay. Because of the environment that they live in, even uh, uh Dr. Clark, back in the day when he actually wrote Dark Ghetto, Kenneth Clark actually said, okay, what's the the pathology in the ghetto, right? The participants are sexually open. Okay, they have multiple partners. Okay, if you go to hood schools, low class schools, by the time you get to be middle school, okay, basically you have had an experience or two, right? Sex is pretty common because people are poor. What do they do when they're bored, right? Got sex. Smoke some weed, get a drink, have sex. So they're more sexually open. They have fewer sexual mores, fewer sexual impetus because they see their mother do it. The mother had multiple boyfriends, so they pick this kind of stuff up, right? So that's the strength. If you want a woman that doesn't not going to with you hit you up for a whole lot of requirements to have sex with her, uh, y- this is one of the perks, right? This is one of the solutions. Okay, low maintenance, right? If she's poor, okay, instead of taking her to um, a high-end steakhouse, okay, Sizzler, okay, with a coupon will do, okay, because she doesn't go. Uh, Stopping off at Burger King in the drive-through is enough for her. Okay, the local chicken shack and fries is enough for her. Very low maintenance. Okay, if if she's your sugar baby, right? So say she's your jump off your sugar baby, paying her cell phone bill will get you access. So you can take like a $70 cell phone bill, get you access, right? Very low maintenance at this level, extremely low maintenance, low cost, right? That's low maintenance, low cost. Like I said, taking her out, buying her clothes. If you have to buy her clothes, if you have to buy her a gift, low cost. Okay, she can't expect too much because her options are limited. Willing to share with multiple women. She's willing to share you with multiple women because that's what she's seeing. Now, um, normally to get a woman like this, you got to be like a high value guy, right? You got to be a upper middle, a wealthy six figure guy, or you got to be an entertainer to normally get this. But at this level, it's just common, okay? And you might have to share her, okay? Because there's a big circle going on, right? In the ghetto at this level, right? Struggle. Open to casual relationships. Most of their relationships are casual. I think in New York City, the in the ghetto, the out of wedlock birth rate is like 80%, about 80%. So in these areas, it's the casual sex is 80%. What do you say? I deal with old 85s for this very reason. No complaints. Yeah, if you can handle it, yeah. Sizzlers, yeah, there's more than you think. There's more than you think. In fact, right across the street from the forum, there's a big ass Sizzler. Been there for years. It's on you. Take it to Chick-fil-A. What I'm saying is, some of this stuff is um, are strengths, or basically strengths for you. In other words, there's reason that you would date her. Okay. Weaknesses, and these are the trade-offs, right? These are the trade-offs. These are the solutions, the pluses. These are the minuses, or the trade-offs, right? They're gonna be unmotivated. Okay, they don't want to work. They don't want to work hard. They don't want to go to school. They don't want to study. They don't want to move. They don't want to change. They're unmotivated. Very cunning, especially if you deal with a welfare woman. Cunning. They're on survival mode. So if you have a baby, they will take you to the welfare office, right? They will. Okay. If you break up, they will take your money. Okay. If you get caught doing something you ain't supposed to do, they will take a knife to you and a brick to your car, right? Slash your tires, so to rock through the window. Um, if they get pissed off, they will run you down. Okay, they will fight you, but they're cunning, they're sneaky. There's the ones that's trying to go through your phone. Well, all women will, but they're the ones trying to go through your phone when you sleep. Okay, they're the ones going through your pockets looking for numbers. Okay, they're the ones in your house snooping. Okay, they're very cunning because they can't be trusted, so you can't be trusted. They're unpredictable since they don't have any very low standards or morals. Okay, unpredictable. Okay, you could do something wrong. She could not say anything. and take it, or she could come in and she pull a knife on you, right? What is it? The dude that just got woman just got arrested for shooting her baby daddy. Uh, Followed him to a hotel, busted out all the windows. So she found him and put two in his chest. Unpredictable, and some have very low morals, more than some. I was kind of generous with that. Okay, these are the trade-offs. You're gonna deal with them. These are the problems that's gonna come with her. Okay, these are the problems that's gonna come with her. So if you do it, these are the problems, right? That come with it. Needs field. Okay, so get them Chinese drinks. Panda Express, right? That might be too high rent for Panda Express. Oh, here you guys, y'all going in. Okay, calm down, calm down. Okay, needs field. Good for men of low status or meager means. If basically, if you're uneducated and um, and you can't get chick of a higher standard, these are your women, right? If you don't have any money, these are your women, right? It's good for casual relationship for men of higher means. I can't tell you how many guys I know that were wealthy, that had millions of dollars, okay, creep down to the projects, creep down to the ghetto, and they got a little girlfriend that they have sex with on a like monthly basis, bi-weekly basis, okay, and he's like a quote unquote unregulated sugar daddy. Okay. Good relationships for men of higher means. Okay. Casual relationships, not for a wife, not for a girlfriend, but casual. Okay. This is what it is, what it is. I'm being honest. Okay. Less picky. So a wide array of guys appeal to her. She don't have options like women as you go up the scale, up the octane scale. Okay. The women that go higher up have more options. Okay, because they can go downward, right? Women at this level cannot go downward, they can only go up. So they have to accept any guy that a wide array of guys that can actually do something for them or be with them, right? Sometimes it's the guy, just keep them company. Depends on who he is. These are the women who would take a guy that gets out of jail. So these are almost like the starter chicks for some guys. What is it, project pussy? Sorry about that. No, no, no. I had to talk to my daughter for a second. So sorry about that. Anyway, let's get to the 87s. Okay. 87 octane. Okay. 87 octane is the gas used by the majority of cars. Okay. Um, these this is the most ubiquitous octane um, that's made, right? So the average woman, okay, the biggest class is the working class. So 87 octane is the working class grade. I think it's like 80% of cars use 87 octane, something like that. 87%. I think it's like 87% of all cars use 87 octane. And this is I think the average person is like 70%. 70% of people are actually average. Okay. So this is the widest group, the biggest group. Okay. The key word is stability. Okay. Basically, what working class people are stable, the salt of the earth, right? They're there to actually maintain the structure of society. So they have to be what? Stable. So your women have to be stable. Okay, she can't be a knucklehead, or she can't be a hardhead. She's gonna have to be. She has to put up with a daily routine. That's what she's been trained for, because her key reason for getting married, to have being in a relationship, is stability. She don't want, she don't want all that drama. Okay, all black women actually bring you drama, but the thing is, they want less of it, because it's gonna mess up their peace. It's gonna mess up their stability. So with that, okay, what are the common names at this level? Okay, working class girl, right? Working class girl, working class people. Now, she might not be married, she might be a girlfriend, she might even be a jumper, but the thing is, she's going to have a job, whether it's part time or full time. She might have more than one. She's a working class person, to try to maintain a working class, middle class lifestyle. Okay. She doesn't want, you know, multiple children by multiple men, because there's too much drama. In this case, a lot of these women only have one child. If she's not married, if she's a baby mama, she probably only has one child, two at the most, if she's divorced. Very regular, very common, very stable. Okay, this is where the vast majority of wives come from. Is this class, right? Blue collar, okay? They're blue collar women, because these are the guys that they marry. Okay, these guys are regular, not even 9 to 5. These are like the 8 to 4 guys, or even the 6 to 3 guys, right? They could be construction workers, drivers, truck drivers, uh, government workers, like post office, um, that kind of stuff. In other words, the women that the guys in the trades marry come from this class, because guess what? Um, they maintain a lifestyle. They don't need a woman that's with so-called sophisticated case. You're not. He's probably not going to buy you that Birkin bag or that Fendi. You're not going to buy a lot of designer clothes. Your kids are not probably going to wear a lot of designer clothes. It's going to be very basic stuff, right? You don't you don't get your stuff, but thing is, it's enough to actually get in. Survive through the school year. The food you eat is going to be regular. It's not going to be fancy stuff. You're not going to you probably will go to the Sizzler, or to the what Outback Steakhouse or something a little upscale on special occasions. Okay, the blue collar women. Okay, regular women, right? In other words, they're regular women are basically just that. Uh, they're working class women that that like their box wine, okay, if they drink, okay. They might drink a little something, something stronger. The clubs they go to are gonna be average, okay. They rather go to a movie than a play, okay. They're gonna watch reality TV shows rather than documentaries or something higher. They probably do not read. If they do read, it's gonna be a romance novel or a sister book. These are the people that probably um, at best, probably have 2 years in a community college. So these are your 87. These are your working class people. Okay. The plain Jane. Okay. Plain Janes are your chicks that are really average, right? They're like Stefco, right? You're like a 4, and you're working class, and she's the one that's going to work overtime to buy something. She's going to drive a Camry. Okay, she's not going to drive a BMW. She's not going to drive a Escalade. Okay, she's going to drive a Bronco. She's going to drive a Camry. She's going to drive a Civic. Okay, and sometimes it's new, sometimes it's not, but this is a working class wife, working class girl. And plain Janes are the ones that don't dress fancy. They don't put on fancy clothes. Um, they they don't really wear weave. Okay, they probably do their own hair, and sometimes they get looked over. But these are the plain Jane is part of this class, right? Strengths, okay, easy to please. Okay, they don't require very much. They entertain themselves. Okay, they don't require you take them out every week. Once a month is probably enough. Um, they rather have a house party than a big event. Okay, she's not there for the black tie event. House party. Instead of if she plays spades and bid whiz. Okay, dominoes if she's so inclined. Okay, uh, her favorite thing is either the backyard or the park cookout. If you saw Insecure um, uh, uh, when when Lawrence actually dated the regular class girl, right, and he went to the family cookout, right, he was out of step because he's a corporate guy and dealing with working class people. He wasn't used to it. Okay, easy to maintain. Like I said, she doesn't she doesn't need a whole lot. She needs some, but she doesn't need a whole lot. Okay. She's not really going to beg for things. Okay. If she has her bills paid, she has food in the refrigerator and gas in her car, she's probably not going to squawk too much. She's probably not going to squawk too much. If she's clothed, fed, and got transportation, and she's housed, she's not going to squawk too much. Get her basic house in a basic neighborhood with the basic things, she'll be fine. Okay. She loves stability over excitement. Like I said, she doesn't want the fancy stuff because fancy stuff actually scares her because if you're not, she's not the type that you're gonna have to say, I'm actually gonna risk our savings in the stock market. She ain't comfortable with that because what we gonna do if we don't have no money? How we gonna pay the gas bill or the mortgage or the car note? She worries about that kind of stuff. So risky ventures, she ain't the girl for you. In fact, she's the one that's going to try to pull you back. If you want to advance, like go into business and away from the house, like um, 50, 60 hours a week or 80 hours a week, she ain't that girl. Okay. She wants you to come home at the same time every day, listen to her nag you for an hour or so while she cooks you dinner, takes care of the kids, put the kids to bed, and that's your life. A steady daily routine. That's what she wants. Okay, she ain't for all that other stuff. Usually more loyal. Okay, because her options are she has more options than a ghetto girl, but her options are not as extensive as the higher classes. Right? So when she gets a good guy, 9 times out of 10 she's gonna try to keep him. 9 times out of 10, she's gonna try to keep him. Even a good boyfriend. That's not gonna be having a chick that even when she doesn't marry the guy, she's got 3 kids by the same guy. Why is that? It's harder for her to actually get another guy to actually take his place. So she has to be more loyal to him. Most suitable for a wife. Okay. If you want a wife that's going to be steady and standard without all the pretense and all the problems, this is probably the girl for you. More supportive uh, than the rest. Yeah. Because she's worried about her stability. She's gonna be a little bit more supportive. Okay. Or like more supportive than most of the higher classes. Okay. Weaknesses. She lacks ambition. Okay. That's the biggest thing that divides the lower 2 classes from the upper 3. Ambition. She lacks ambition. Okay. She wants a steady rate. Even the guy she with probably lacks ambition. If you're the guy that's gonna stay on the job for 40 years, this is the kind of woman for you. Because she's actually gonna do the same. Okay. Lacks drive. In other words, she's not trying to get ahead, try to have the 6 bedroom house with a spiral staircase, right? If it comes, she'll take it, but she's not striving for that. She can get too settled. In other words, once they get into a groove of habits, they're hard to get women like this out of the habits. Okay, they like comfort and stability. Lacks inquisitiveness for certain classes of men. In other words, she ain't reading anything about what is it? I was just reading this about neoliberals, or she's not going to read Marx. She's not going to read. She's not going to read anything about philosophy or anything above CNN. She's not interested. She's CNN. She's a CNN, a Fox girl. She's not going to be C-SPAN, where she talk about bills and passing bills and complex stuff about how laws work. It ain't her. Okay. That ain't her. She's not gonna read too deeply into a movie that you might go see. Uh, Basically, Pet Black Panther 2 is probably as deep as she's probably gonna go. You read comic books or into that kind of stuff. She's not going to read, look at Star Wars 9 times out of 10, or or basically anything with Marvel. That's not her. It's not. It doesn't have anything to do with everyday life. Needs filled. The most plentiful category. Make the best housewife. Right. If you want a regular housewife to be married to for 30 years, she's the one. Dependable woman. That's her. Stability is her stilo. Okay. Stability is her stilo. That's what I got, and you're driving me a mine to a T, and it kills me. Well, that's what you picked. That's what you picked. No, there are a lot of 87s are always with you. Okay, 87s are always with you, and they haven't. The problem with the 87s nowadays, they're not trained to be wives. Okay, very difficult. Even though they're working class. Okay, the classes are always with you. The plain Jane girl. If you're gonna pick a ghetto girl, the plain Jane, the girl next door, then yeah, out of that class, yeah. Plain Janes and ghetto girls actually want to be 87s. That's what they aspire to. 89s, okay, known as the mid-grade fuel. It's also the most confusing, right? It's do you do you move up if you're 89 or move down? You want to be higher octane 92, like the Benzes take, or you want to be the Camry? Those are 89s, right? Um, that's why they're most confusing. The thing is with them, they're flexible. They're very flexible. Most women at this level have elements of octanes above and below, okay? And she can sink or rise. That's the whole thing about them. I call them I call them bohemians, right? Um, if you get an 89, if you get a climber that's an 89, they're more problematic because they're more ambitious, okay? They're trying to move up, even though they don't have the skills, okay? They can be problematic for some guys, right? But the ones that move down, like a 92, like a chick that has a bachelor's degree becomes a teacher, okay, and she sinks down to a regular class person, right? Okay, those are 89s. They're educated enough to actually move up, or if they decide they don't want to do that, they can move down. Okay, they don't have as much ambition to actually uh, go through the meat grinder of actually being a higher class, like some chicks were, like the 92s or and above will. So um, they're classic underachievers. Okay, uh, I can tell you one. I got a couple. Right, my daughter's much smarter. She probably could be at a higher class, but thing is, she has elements that she wants to underachieve. Okay, she's got a bachelor. She was working on her master's. Okay, but the thing is that okay, she doesn't really want to be corporate. She would like to be corporate. She has the talent to do it. She could do it, and most guys that meet her, she's educated. She's nice. She's got manners. She got all the accoutrements of being a 92, but she wants to be a regular person. Okay, she doesn't want all the trappings and stuff like that. She drives a Beamer, so she's the elements of it. But thing is, the rest of her doesn't always fit. It's the kind of stuff that she doesn't always fit. Uh, Clatchets are what I call the the 89s, right? Uh, they got a ratchet side where they'll fight. Okay, they could fight, could get drunk, or they could be show up at a ball, at a black tie event. Classes how they describe themselves, right? They got a ratchet side, which is lower class, and they have a classy side, which is higher class. That's what 89s actually sit. And 89s are good for corporate guys or educated guys that don't want the woman with that kind of ambition that 92s have. or trying to push them, are always trying to get rich. The 89s are not trying to do that. They're trying to be comfortable. They're trying to be interesting. They're trying to do stuff that are interesting, but not too much, right? They don't want to be like I said, they don't want the mansion or the spiral staircase. They want a regular house in a regular neighborhood and do interesting things. They're the ones that want to go on field trips, like going to the mountains or going skiing or something like that, like once every other month, right? They're the ones that want to travel a little bit. Like I don't want to. I don't have to do the France trip on the Riviera, but I'll go to Cancun once a year, or go to the islands once a year, and that'll be enough. Um, those are the ones that will, jump up, save some money, and go to what is it, Essence Fest or something like that. Not they don't have an ambition to be this world traveler, but things little stuff. That's where they sit. Okay, strengths. Okay, got to remember the biggest thing about them is adaptable, right? They they adapt to a vast range of classes, right? Because they used to be in, they have a little bit of ratchet in them, so they can go down to the barbecue and talk and have a good time and play cards, right? And they got a sister, they have a relative that's in the project. They can actually strip down, drive a regular car, and go to the ghetto and talk to people. They're not going to stay, but they can actually interact. And they also have their sorority sisters that they hang out with when they have an event. They get invited to these events all the time, right? They just don't go to a black tie event, or uh, they have a classmate that was that's a it could be a politician, it could be a lawyer, uh, or it could be something like that because they went to school with him, right? They were educated with him. They just didn't make it. Issa Rae was a class of '89, right? She wanted to go into non-profit instead of the corporate world like the rest of her girlfriends. So she's a classic '89. She's a tweener. So when Lawrence left her, she had to date a lot of low class guys that were actually uh, well, thugs and criminals and baby boys and working class guys. That's what she dated because she could. She could adjust. Okay, flexible. I always said lots of potential. That's the trap with somebody like an '89. Lots of potential. Can't get caught by that. Potential without ambition is nothing. Okay. Easygoing. Okay. Very easygoing. Very, very comfortable in a lot of different environments. That's why they're easygoing. Okay. Weaknesses. Here we go. Unmotivated. That's the problem between them and the higher classes. Unambitious. Okay. Confused because they always get pulled by their girlfriends, right? Higher class girlfriends trying to pull them up. The regular kind of girlfriends pull them down. They actually want to be regular, but thing is, they get teased by the sorority sisters, right? Girl, why you down there? Why you marry that guy? What's he gonna do for you? He ain't got no degree. He ain't this, he ain't that. Should have a better job. They get confused. Okay. And they sometimes they get frustrated because they're underachievers. They get frustrated because they actually could be better. They could be better. They could do better, but they don't. Why? Because they're unmotivated. Okay. Needs filled, right? She's an educated woman. If you have children, especially if you have children, she's educated. She actually raised better children because she is educated. She can take care of uh, homework and interact with the teachers and interact with counselors, guidance counselors. She actually, because she's been to college, she has a degree, she can guide your kid through the same thing, right? If you need to be educated, she can actually guide you because she has contacts. And one good thing about 89, she's got contacts that she can actually give to you because she has higher class females that have higher class husbands, good business contacts, depending on who you are. Spans classes. Like I said, she knows people from the bottom to the top. Last, she has friends in different groups. If you like to have a woman that has her fingers in all kinds of pies from different classes, this is your girl. All right. Next, how are we doing on time? Oh shit. Like I said, let me kind of go through this. I told you it's not enough time to go through both of them. Fuel type 92. 92 is the highest octane fuel. for regular cars. It's required by the most expensive kind of cars, right? The maintenance is killer on 92s. It's premium fuel. 92 women are premium and more expensive. Okay? Here's the rub, right? Keyword upscale, bougie, professional, okay? White collar, upper class, okay? She's looking to be a Kardashian. She's looking to be Michelle Obama. She's looking to be Beyonce, okay? That's what she's looking to be. And if, especially in the centers like New York, DC, Atlanta, Los Angeles, that's what she's looking for. Okay. She's looking to be with those people with and have what those people have. Common names. Bougie. Can I say it again? Bougie. Okay. Classy. And what? Snooty. If you're gonna date a woman in this class, you gotta check boxes. If you do not, okay, if you do not, her girlfriend's actually gonna give her all kinds of help for being with you. And I tell you, if you're a regular working class guy and don't have a degree, don't have the accoutrements of an upper class guy or a six figure guy, um, you date this woman and she doesn't introduce you to her friends or her family, that means you, sir, are a concubine. You are a jump off to her. You're a 12 to 5 guy. You're not a you're not really there to be a boyfriend or a husband because you will not pass the test. You will not get past the sniff test, and she knows it. And she will be committing class suicide for marrying you. So if be careful, you're gonna date a woman like this, you gotta know what she comes with. If she's a classic 92. That's why most guys that are working class that want an educated woman, they go down low, which is 89. You date a 92, you gotta deal with what comes with it. If she does get with you, she's gonna try to pull you up. If you're not ambitious, she's gonna nag the shit out of you. Okay. Most guys I know that working class that married one of these chicks, okay, she bugged the shit out of them because she's trying to pull she's trying to pull him up to it from a truck driver to a trucking company or a business owner. Ebony K. Williams is a not classic 92. Would you date a bus driver? No, only if he owns the bus. Classic 92 response. In fact, Ebony Williams is actually a failed 100 octane, which is even worse. Okay. Her strengths, high morals. Okay. Her reputation is very important to her. Very educated. She leads with that. Skilled in business and social graces. Okay. She's going to be in that class. Those are actually prerequisites, right? Can you smooth? Can you go to a black tie event? Do you speak well? Can you represent? This is what she's there for. Very connected socially. Okay, how you get your business contacts? How do you get people actually uh, hire you? How do you get people to actually pull you up? Right. That's what she's there for. She's there to pull you up, to push you forward. She's a partner. She's not a wife. 92 is not a wife. She's a partner. She's a almost like a business partner. You're in business together. You gonna marry a woman like that? It is a partnership. It's not a marriage. Okay, it's a marriage in name only. Weaknesses: demanding. Okay, very demanding, very pushy, impatient. Okay, impatient. She wants it done yesterday because she read a book and she needs to go to a seminar. She's all excited. We got to get rich tomorrow. Got to buy a new house tomorrow. We got to buy a new car tomorrow. Got to go and got to have our LLC tomorrow. Impatient. Never satisfied. They're always looking for the next thing. I want to write a book. I want to go on vacation. I want to start a webinar. I want to start a social group. I want to go into politics. I want to be a what biggest thing. I want to be a mogul. I want to be Oprah. I want to be a billionaire. That's the top for her, and she will constantly push toward that aim. Okay, they're never satisfied. Uh, Needs filled, right? Good for men who need a partner to push them. What did I just say? You need a partner to push you to a higher level. This is a woman that you pick. She's already on board with that. You want to gamble the rent money on a stock. She's your girl. You want to try a startup where you're gone 100 hours a week. She's your girl. You want somebody to do the books while you drive a truck, trying to start a trucking company. She's your girl. You're trying to find a lawyer to actually do your paperwork for you. She's your girl. She's looking for a guy that has number one. First thing they say, is he ambitious? Does he want more? Is he willing to work hard? Does he want to be rich? That's what she wants. If you're that guy, she's your girl. Good for networking in business or upper society. Like I said, she smoozes well, she speaks well, she networks well. She's got girlfriends, she has all kind of contacts. That's what she's good for. If you're trying to strive to be rich, be wealthy, that kind of stuff, where you're ambitious, this is the girl for you. She's a partner more than a wife. All right. They're all over, Azriel. They're all over. But you got to hang out where they hang out. Look for the heels, look for the car. You start find a car like a BMW, a new BMW or Mercedes. Uh, that's your 92. Senator's wife, that's the higher end. Starting a local business, that's the lower end. But they're always trying to go in business. They're always trying to get rich. They're the ones selling soap and lotion and hair and seminars and advice, all kinds of stuff. They're always trying for an edge. Age gap dating. Uh, Age gap dating is different. Okay, that's a different story. Um, Age gap dating. If you're gonna date one of these kind of chicks that's a 90 that you want to help, okay, wants to help, you probably should get a older woman. That's where older woman will actually come in handy, depending on who you are. At college campuses, sororities, they're all over. They're all over. They're mostly. Yeah, I said you're over two. Oh, we're talking about the Lakers. Okay, I told you Denver's gonna be tough. Denver's gonna go to the wire. Now, next, and this is the last one, and we're at 57 minutes, so just right on time, right? 100 octane is the highest grade of fuel sold. Not recommended for most cars. It's specialized for what? Racing cars, right? Not average, right? It's a cut above. They're very expensive, right? 100 octane women, very expensive. But the thing is, um, keyword is jet setter. They're jet setters. If you got a jet, you can fly her out on a private jet. That's your girl. Okay. The people that date Future or date uh, Michael B. Jordan, whoever, right? A rapper that's up and coming. 100 octane. Send her, fly her out on a private jet. That's what she wants. That's a 100 octane chick. Okay. Common names: gold digger, elite, socialite. Okay. Now this other end where they're sexually open because they have to be very, very high maintenance, right? They're ghetto girls, but thing is the opposite end of the 85s. Sexually open because they have to share. Difference is they're high maintenance, very high maintenance. That Gucci, Fendi, designer bags, what is it, the Birkin bags, that kind of shit. These are the girls, okay? High cost, very high cost. You're gonna pay. If you can't pay, don't apply. Like if you can't afford that Ferrari and or that exotic car with the gold wing doors, don't apply. You can't afford the maintenance. They're willing to share with multiple women because the guys at this level have options. Got options, right? So they have to do more to get this guy. They have to share with other women. They know they're coming in. High value men have what? Options, right? Especially these guys. Open to casual relationships. Of course they are, because you're paying. Ebony K. Williams is actually taken care of by that white guy in that high rise New York apartment, right? 100 octane lifestyle. Willing to allow men maximum freedom and control. That comes with the territory. But this is the thing. Exceptionally beautiful. Eight, only eight, nines, and tens need apply at this level. If you're below an eight, don't apply. Okay, you're at best a jump off for a guy like that. Eight, nines, and tens only. If you're not an eight, don't apply. If a guy doesn't have $1 million or more per year, that's not the woman for you. Okay, very high end, very expensive, very beautiful. Okay, most of your tens are going to be in this class. Want to see a 100 octane women? Go to any large city with a major league team, and go like an hour before and go to the will call and sit there. They will come up and line up. They actually get tickets, their passes to go in. That's where they're going to be. Those are 100 octane women all day long. Okay, the IG models. Okay, the high end porn stars, the IG models, um, uh, the chicks that the NBA wives, the uh, NFL wives, those kind of women are all 100 octane. The ones that date and marry actors and singers and that kind of the entertainment class, the famous class, right? Those are 100 octanes. The guys that are businessmen make $1 million or more at least. Okay, probably eight figures to get a woman like this, because you have to get a 100 octane woman. You have to have wealth and fame. So if you don't have fame, you have to have more money. These are the highest class, most expensive. And the thing is, it doesn't matter where you come from, right? If you got the requisite beauty and requisite adaptability to this class, you're in. No matter whether you're a GED student or have a master's or PhD, doesn't matter. Eight, nines, and tens only. That's why I come. The people like Kimberly Foster and other PhD women do not like this, the guys in this class, because their education does not matter at this level. They don't care about your money. Care less about your money. Are you adaptable? Are you subservient? And will you fit into my program? That's all they care about. And are you an eight, nine, or 10? I'm not going to have a five or a six or even a seven on my arm. It's not going to happen, because I can actually afford to buy the best. I'm not going to fly you out. I'm not going to fly a four out to be with me. It's not going to happen. Eight, nine, or 10 only. And that's the problem. Okay. Weaknesses: selfish, very cunning. They're sneaky, just like the ghetto girls, because they got to get their bag, right? It got to ensure the bag. And self-centered. It's all about them. Okay, needs filled. Uh, the trophy for highly accomplished men is representative of a man's status and wealth. You're a status symbol at this level. 100 octane women are actually status symbols. Women do not understand this. You're a status symbol at this level. Okay, so why is this chick that can't put two sentences together with this guy that's rich? And I'm more adaptable, I'm more educated, uh, I'm more worldly, but she gets all the perks. She's an eight, nine, or 10. Looks matter most at this level. If you ain't got the baseline eight, nine, or 10 looks, eights are like 1 in 100. Okay, 1 in 100 chicks is going to be an eight. Okay, 1 in 1,000 chicks are actually going to be a nine. One in like 10,000 are actually going to be a 10. Tens are very rare. Nines are rarer, are rare too. Eights are not common. If you're a common chick, like a seven and below, Gonna have a hard time getting this kind of guy unless you meet him like in college. A lot of athletes, girls actually met them in college or met them in high school. Okay. But they would not get them after they get on. You're not gonna see a John Morant date a chick that's not an 8, 9, or 10. It's not gonna happen. Looks matter most at this level. Money and fame matters most at this level. So, who are the guys? Just as an aside, who are the guys that actually are 100 octane? High class drug dealers pushing weight, right? Look at Steve Harvey's wife, right? Marjorie Harvey, right? Who she married? High class drug dealers and entertainers, right? They're the same thing across levels, right? That's why a Future and a Russell Wilson are actually in the same class with the same kind of woman. They all chase the same kind of woman at that class, at that status level, at 100 octane level. She could be with a 50 Cent, or be with a Future, or be with a senator. Just depends. At this level, wealth and fame matter most. Anyhow, we'll close that out. We'll take a few questions and then we're going to jump off of here. All right. All right. Anyway, questions. I haven't read the chat in a while, so repeat your questions if you ask. Because I was doing a presentation, it's kind of hard to look at questions while I'm doing a presentation. Megan Good, 100 octane. Without a question. Is cousin Tita in the house? Oh, there he is. You want to come up, cousin? If you got time, you can come up if you want to. 92s used to be right around 10 and 10%. 92s are probably about the top 10%. Um, if they're single, 92s have a different evaluation schedule. Not that's about money. So there's probably like, I would say like 20%, 15 to 20% depends how you actually want to evaluate them. You got some time? Okay. This is for only for cousin Tita if he wants to come up. Actually, he's actually it's actually a blessing. Okay. Um, so but all this stuff is about class. Okay. It's not about depends on who you, if you're in corporate 92, corporate or IT, it depends on what your needs are. If you want a woman that's actually going to push you, it's not about class, about how can I say talent. If you want her to push you and make contacts for you, you need a 92. If you want a regular housewife, I would say 89s or 92s for IT guys. Smart enough to actually be with you, but not enough to actually get in your business. 92s will actually be in your business. You will make six figures being with a 92. Okay, you will go into corporate and have a side business with a 92. They are very class sensitive. Their girlfriends are class sensitive. Women are probably more class sensitive than the men are because of their friends. Uh, Basically, cousin Tita talks about the Fay group, right? Female hierarchy group, right? The five closest girlfriends. They would actually determine what class she's in. It did, but you had to come off of that if she wants to get married. She was a 100 octane jump off. That's what she was to him. She's a side chick. Thought she was going to be a wife, and she never was a wife. She was never going to be Mrs. Cartwright. MPD with them. What's MPD? Possibly they can have, but thing is, they're going to expect 10 results. And sometimes plastic surgery is not always a guarantee if you don't have the baseline features. Okay, that's for cousin Tita if you want to come. Nicole Murphy is definitely 100 octane. Okay, she aged out though. Who did she marry? She married to what? One of the biggest stars on the planet, right? Eddie Murphy. Definitely 100 octane. She's a 10. She's a 10. Okay, she's an uber 10. Still, even at 51, she's still a 10, which is rare. But she's aged out, so she can't get the requisite guy. She can get a boyfriend, like a director or an actor or something like that, but she can't. She can't get married anymore. Not to a high octane guy. That's why uh, if you're gonna get married, then to a 100 octane, cousin Tita only. Okay, what up, cousin?
Salute, salute. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, no, this is one of those occasions where we're getting some really valuable information. Um, this is what we refer to as source material because years from now, after the volumes, right, more than
Mhm.
just a book, more than just one book, but years from now, when the
Yes,
volumes,
it's gonna have to be more than one book because it's really complex. It's gonna have to be more than one book.
so um, just like the Kevin Samuels effect, rest in peace, is reverberating across college campus, major university campuses
Yeah,
globally. Okay,
yeah,
the UK, Australia, in various countries. Those professors are teaching his theory on the Kevin Samuels effect. How was he able to penetrate so many spaces, so many markets,
yeah, yeah,
um, virtually from nothing. We know the origin story, but
yeah,
similar to that, um, once the Octane book or books or volumes of books are published, it's going to be taught because this is a very unique scale, um, and I, as much as I am dedicated to promoting the Octane book, I have to, I have to remind people, hey, I sent, Master Chief BG, I sent more the email requesting that I publish the Octane scale in my book.
yeah, yeah,
And was it 2019? I
yeah,
published in 2020. So it's already a published um, theory model scale.
yeah. And
So go ahead.
I was gonna say your Fay group is actually brilliant because it actually talks about the circle, right? That you have to go through.
Yeah,
Her
no,
her class circle.
yes, yeah, no, absolutely, and um, it it's the ideal sort of complement when we talk about how not only people but specifically women sort of filter and qualify mates,
Yeah,
and how they how they view um, reality, how they view potential, how they view hope, how they structure sort of when they're thinking about how their lives are going to turn out in kindergarten, when they're thinking about you
yeah,
know what the veil will look like when they're walking down the aisle or being
yep.
walked down the
Or
aisles.
what location they're gonna be when they get married? Is it Ireland? Is it the
No,
Justice of
exactly
the Peace?
right. Destination wedding or
Yeah, yeah.
backyard. Exactly,
Oh, back. Yep.
exactly. And I think the most important takeaway from presentations like this is that it's it's not about the fantasy um, that um, the mainstream tries to sell people. And that fantasy is, 1% lifestyle, this
Yeah.
jet setter, destination, always on the go. Um, your feet never touch the ground lifestyle. No, women are actually quite pragmatic.
Hmm.
And um, it's interesting. a lot of these podcasts today, they have all. You can tell that the women are from diverse backgrounds, right?
Yeah.
Those who take away anything from presentations like this, understand you have received uh, an observational tool. Okay, this is a tool and a structure for observing different types of women, right? No matter what they say when they're in a group, their lifestyle will always shine through with their behavior,
Yeah.
and that's one of the most important takeaways with presentations like this. Ultimately, the book, obviously, but a lot of women who are on these podcasts who claim they want, six-figure guy,
Yeah.
two vacations a year. Uh, she doesn't want to have to pay for, and that's all cap. All you have to do is, you know, ask where they're from, where they live, something
Yeah.
something to the effect that you alluded to earlier in the presentation. But when you get a woman, um, outside of her group or outside of the public eye, she is
Yeah.
going to revert to who she truly is, and
Yeah.
that pragmatism will be on full display. If she
Yeah.
sees the type of man who is capable, or the type of man who fits that imprint, right?
Yeah.
The first three guys, or her most impactful masculine influence growing up, which for a
Yeah.
lot of women, like you mentioned with the 87 Octane, are working class guys. The men who built the roads, the men who are the electricians, who are the plumbers, are the carpenters, are the mailmen, are the salt of the earth. These
Yeah.
are the men who a lot of these women observes, maintaining reality, literally keeping the world together.
Yeah.
And what young women take from that, during their developmental stages, is that, wow, if I want stability, if I want, you know, a real man, literally a real man is a man who can hold up reality. This is the type of man that I look for. The guy with the pension, the guy who knows what to do
Yep.
with, his savings, the guy who knows how to invest, the guy who, you know, gets off of work, takes off his hard hat, and looks for his baby girl as soon as he
Yeah.
walks through the door.
Yeah.
That's what she looks to replicate in her adult life. No
Yeah.
matter how many Real Housewives of, Orange County, of, Miami, whatever the iteration of the basketball rides, or Real Housewives of whatever is,
Hmm.
they can produce however many shows that they want to, but at the end of the day, the pragmatic women want, the type of men who can hold up reality. And I think that this is a testament to identifying, what the true desires of women are, no matter what social media tries to project, no matter what mainstream media tries to project. And that's why, no matter how many books we write or produce or publish, this is going to be one of those models that stands the test of time. Because another thing about it is that it overlays, um, with the socioeconomic model.
Yeah.
Um, you know, uh, I don't know how many years it's been since we put out the series, maybe 3 or 4 years now,
Yeah. Yeah.
where we can literally take this particular model, and let me tell me if I'm wrong, but it did the socioeconomic sort of, um, landscape from the American experience. Did that factor into how you categorized, the various octanes, or was this just strictly an observation of yours, and then it just so happens that the socioeconomic model, as brought out by the Department of Labor, blackdemographics.com, and I think the IRS.com bore out. It just so happened to align with your model. Which one
Oh,
was it?
be- I think it was actually social experience first, and then trying to understand it with stats and books and information. I'm seeing this. What does this mean? So it's actually over a period of like maybe what 30 years now.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
like my fiance was actually an '89 climber basically. She came from actually she was a ghetto girl. She came from the projects, right? And she went to school. Um, she worked for a defense contractor,
Hmm.
and then she became a IT specialist. So she rose from an 85 to to a 92.
Right. I mean, that's pure ambition.
Yes, ambitious,
That is.
very ambitious, very pretty. She was an eight. She looked like Pam Grier,
Oh,
and she
there
was
you
an
go.
eight. Yeah,
There you go.
eight. So she's used to being around higher class people, and that's what she wanted to be. So she was always aiming for the next thing.
Right. Now, 2 seconds. Shout out to Officer Charles Faulkner. Uh, yeah. When I come into the cigar lounge, listen, listen. As long as you bring those 2 bags and that bucket of wings, you let me know. Listen, BGS, you don't know how many chicks were hitting him up, um, on the bat phone that night. Okay, listen, he ain't gonna tell you, but he had to cut
Oh,
the meeting
the
short.
short, yeah,
Okay,
because the candy grams were coming in. Yeah,
listen,
Mongo love candy. So
no, absolutely, but yeah, this is one of those presentations that are necessary that people need to save and replay, because when we look back on this moment, um, we'll
yeah,
remember where we were when
yeah,
this was presented.
yeah, yeah, yeah. T-Mont, our high-paying blue-collar workers still 87s? Yes. And you have a degree. Uh, how are you socially? These are actually social classes, more than money.
Right. That's a great question, and that's a really good point in terms of how this plays out in the social landscape,
Yeah,
because you can have millionaires who are not invited to black tie affairs.
right.
They'll take your political donation check if you're adept enough to send it, but it is about the connections. You're vetted very heavily the higher you go, on the octane scale or in the social hierarchy,
Yeah,
because they don't want anyone who could potentially or who would potentially overturn the apple cart or upset the
yeah,
apple cart,
right.
in terms of, because okay, so at the higher levels, you've got planning that goes out over decades. So when you're at a function like the Chamber of Commerce, or board meetings or galas, you're rubbing elbows with
Yeah,
people and developers who have worked on 5-year contracts, who have worked
yeah,
on 10-year contracts. And if you're an 87 octane, we'll just say that you're a plumber or a carpenter or medical technician or whatever,
yeah,
and you have this vision, for this new development or something like that, that would disrupt, a deal that's a 5-year deal or whatever. The checks have been signed, the ground has been broken. Then you're potentially going to mess up generations of capital, generations of deals, and things like that. So in order to enter those higher echelons of society, or those higher octanes, particularly 89 and 92, you have
yeah,
to be vetted,
yeah. You got to
and
be at it.
and
Yeah.
and
So
and,
you,
and th- yeah, go ahead.
so you actually need a girl. That's where 92, if you can get her, will actually train you to actually be in those classes. Okay, but it takes a while.
And
What to wear, how to act, what to say. Okay, that kind of stuff. You want to be trained. You have to be trained to be in those classes. It's not something you just jump into because of money. Go ahead,
and the,
cousin.
and the reason why what you just said is so important, it takes a girl.
Yeah,
The reason why the female is so important is because, like I said before, women are very pragmatic. And so they act as the filter and the
Yeah.
gatekeepers of those echelons of society.
Mm-hmm.
And experienced, wise men understand that dynamic. And so they also understand and appreciate and leverage the dynamic of women not only um, keeping those undesirables out, but also allowing access to those who the women have vetted in. Because women, I mean, they're like the FBI. Okay,
They are.
they're like the CIA. So if
Yeah,
you're
they are.
just false flagging, if you're just putting on this persona of being a quote unquote high value man or someone of a different class
Mm-hmm.
than you really are, a woman can sniff that out,
Yeah.
and she can do that on multiple levels. Not only sniff out your financials. Is he in a rental? Is he in a lease? Is it, did he buy it for an asset leverage,
Mm-hmm.
or just a vehicle? Not
Yeah.
only your residence, not only your watch, not only your clothes, your stature, the way you carry yourself,
Mm-hmm.
the way you walk down the street,
Mm-hmm.
um, and how you interact with different people, how you interact with her.
Yeah.
All of
Yep.
those things do get reported to her friend group.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about the female hierarchy group, that's just another layer of filtration between not only just women and the men that they desire to sire their children and lead their household, but the women who are put in positions of gatekeeping the upper echelons of society.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. There's a lot that goes into it, and basically, if you get a woman that's a 92 or a climber, first thing she's gonna try to change your clothes and your style to fit in.
Right. If she
First thing,
likes you.
if she likes you, yeah, yeah, that's true. If she
She's
likes
got to
you,
see potential.
yeah,
She's,
you got to see potential.
this is why you got to really appreciate, um, you know, a presentation like this, because it's honest. It's on,
Yeah,
even if you do not apply, even if it does not apply to you.
yeah,
Um, and I don't know if you're going to do the men's side of the octane scale sometime in the future, but when we talk about the women's side of the octane scale,
yeah,
so I always say that men and women have a different relationship with reality,
yeah. They do.
uh, and in that, men tend to be held accountable more in the lower echelons of society. In the
Hmm.
upper echelons of society, women are actually held accountable more than the men.
Yeah, because reputation matters at that level.
Reput Let's go back to Othello, right?
Hmm.
Reputation, reputation, reputation.
Hmm.
When we talk about how societies are structured, and we're just going to look at the modern Western post-colonial society in America, we still have a lot of traditional sort of constructs when it comes to leadership. A lot of that is shifting. The face of a lot of the elements of those structures are shifting, but um, the sort of underpinnings of those structures are the same, and in that the expectations of um, entry into certain levels,
Yeah,
it's high, and the cost of attending these spaces is, what is your value add,
yeah,
what is your family name,
yeah.
like what is your family's track record, and or because they understand new money, what is your track record of contributing to causes,
And
contributing. Go
you can't be a loose cannon because one little scandal can actually ruin their reputation. it's going to take a dent. Are you trained to be up here?
Correct. And it would seem so. This is another testament to the Octane scale.
Hmm.
All of these sort of attributes to a person's um, persona matter because at the 92 level,
Yeah.
you're not only dealing locally, you're dealing regionally, nationally, and internationally.
Yep.
Okay, contracts are international nowadays, especially depending on what market you're in.
Yep.
Okay, and the rules of engagement are so important to understand that you need a higher level of mentorship. They have mentorship programs. They have finishing programs. They have classes that are specific for 92 octane supply chain managers
Yeah.
or logistic operators
Yeah.
or um, network marketing or digital market, whatever it is. But not just like just like we got mentors, coaches, and teachers of game. I know I ain't gonna interject that, but within
Yeah, well, but it's real at that level. It's real because it's
it's real,
necessary. Yeah.
absolutely.
Kevin was there for the same thing. Uh, the social grace you actually need to actually climb that class level. That's what he's there for.
Right, and not and once you climb, you need to be able to negotiate um, your status, your standing, and understanding why you're there. Because when you're there, you have a track. Everybody has a track, and when we talk about staying in your lane, at that level, you have to stay in your lane, just like a racetrack or a race car driver or whatever.
Right.
Because if you veer outside, if you like you said, a loose cannon or whatever,
Right.
you're going to get violated.
Yep.
And it may be another conversation for another day.
Yeah.
But
Let me ask you this, man.
yeah,
Ebony K. Williams, right? Okay.
oh boy,
She was Miss North Carolina at one time.
okay, I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah. So
I can see that.
her yeah. Yeah, you see what I'm saying. So who she dated and what she expects falls right in line because she wants to be what? 100 octane, Miss North Carolina. What you say about beauty pageant chicks?
Yeah, no, yeah, no, I definitely dated a beauty a beauty. I think a few of us have dated former beauty pageant chicks. They're my second favorite uh people. So
Really?
yeah, beauty pageant chicks. They have the poise, the grace, the
Okay.
presentation,
Uh-huh.
the vocabulary, and they have the congeniality. My favorite people are flight attendants because they they
I,
have
I did not see that one coming.
well they have the congeniality, they have the presentation, they have the diction, they have the projection, and they have the hood. They have the mercenary spirit because if they need to cut somebody who's trying to commandeer the plane, they'll do that.
Okay. Okay.
And they know how to they can drink most people under the table. But
Classic 89s, huh?
yeah, no, flight attendants are amazing people. But in terms of Ebony K. Williams, I think
Mhm.
yeah, so much has been said about the event or what had happened. It's just what she didn't do. I think what she failed to do was be completely honest about her intent. She
Yeah.
she wanted she wanted to get with an elite. She should have landed the plane right there.
Right.
Bus driver is not for her.
Yeah.
A bus driver would lose his mind. Okay, trying to you know trying to manage that household.
Yeah.
Um, I think that she should have just kept it to herself, like kept it focused on herself.
Right.
She
She
should have
should have.
said, "For
For
me,
me.
for
Yeah.
me, a bus driver is a no." Right? But depending on whatever agenda she was trying to promote at the moment, it, you know, it became, oh well, the standard is not a bus driver; it's a bus owner. So I think a lot got lost in the translation, and then you had other follow-ups that she just fumbled. But yeah, at the end of the day, her as a pageant person, yeah, there's a specific type of man that would need
Okay.
to manage that situation.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
she's gonna probably wind up like an earthy kid.
No.
Um,
Well, she's she wants to be a 100 octane woman, and she's 40.
yeah,
She
she
missed
out
her
of there.
bus. She
Yeah,
missed her bus. Yeah.
yeah, that's past. That's
Yeah.
so funny. She missed her bus. Yeah, no, that ship has sailed.
The ship is
Um,
sailed.
so, but I mean, I heard that her mom was a bus driver.
Yeah.
So, um, so what I would say is, because 100 octanes, once they're out of that particular um, echelon,
Yeah.
they revert to their original programming. So if she makes the choice to have a fulfilled life as opposed to having a plastic life, then she'll definitely um, revert to 89 or 87 octane man who can show her the not only the lifestyle but the love and the deep sort of appreciation
Yeah.
for um, for humanity, for being a human, just living.
Yeah.
Because at these higher echelons of life, you're just moving and shaking.
Yeah.
You're existing from one moment to the next, one deal to the next, one experience to the next, one party to the next, one ball to the next, one continent to the next.
Right.
But you don't really have enough time to be present and to stop and smell the roses and to understand and appreciate what it means to live life. The smaller things, those intangible moments that you can never get back. Documenting the human experience.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that they miss.
They find that out at 50 when they slow down.
Well, I mean, I guess she got 10 more years, to
Yeah.
figure that out, and
Well,
hopefully,
she got to figure it out now because, like I said, she's 40. Okay, so that bus is she got to take a shuttle now. Okay, that bus is gone.
listen. I already know what's gonna happen. She gonna come across a personal trainer or some other male thought, uh, you know, that'll sit her down for a little bit. She gonna flew him out. She gonna flew him out to a location, and she gonna reconnect to what it means to be human, having a
Hmm.
human experience. So,
Hmm.
um, and hey, she gonna rock and roll from there then on out. So, but yeah, I don't want to take up uh, if other people have questions. I haven't seen any, but yeah, if you want to
Yeah,
take it.
they're asking. They say, "Are we still taking questions?" We'll take for like the next 15 minutes. We'll take questions and then we'll get out of here. So fire away, y'all. Yo, if you got questions, I know. Well, we asked you the thing about uh, if you're 100 like a truck driver that makes 150K, you want a 92, okay, and move up into different classes. You got to take what comes with it. She's going to try to push you into being owner, to being making more money, working more hours, picking up employees, and adding more trucks. That's what she's there for. Do you want that? You want that? You want to be ambitious? That's fine. If you don't want to be ambitious, she ain't for you. Okay. If you want to do 100, like 20, 25 days on the road and come home to a hot meal and a shower, okay, different kind of woman. She's not that girl.
Right. You know what's interesting?
Mm,
A lot of people who are climbers, um, and a lot of people who enter the upper echelons of the social structure, when they start to mentor with CEOs, CFOs, or C-suite operators,
mm-hmm.
that they tend to be privy to conversations that the old guard, the the so-called old guard have. Okay, these are the older guys who have the golden parachutes, who are
Right.
um, who've seen everything and done everything, and and know what it's about. At that level, the things that they talk about and the things that they really really value um, are the things that we try to push. I believe, I like to believe. Listen, correct me if I'm wrong, but the things that we try to center in our conversations, and that is culture.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you have all these multi-millionaires, you have these high earners, and you're like, what are the drivers, what is all the ambition about? At the end of the day, what is it about? They say legacy. They use the term legacy a lot. It gets thrown
Mm-hmm.
around, your mission or whatever. The mission is
Mm-hmm.
to conserve culture, cultural elements, cultural features, cultural property, so that they can inform the next generation. Because at the end of the day, the result of all of this activity, if you can't warehouse them in institutions that outlive you and the next five generations, then
Mm-hmm.
what was all of the sum of this labor, right? So
Yeah.
when we talk about culture in these spaces, and we talk about, well, what's the point of even wanting to ascend through the octane or the various social echelons,
Mm-hmm.
those closed door meetings are about um, missions that include art gallery openings, that
Mm-hmm.
include art restoration, that include archaeological digs, anthropological findings. What's on the 10th page of Crane's or Bloomberg, or whatever, those human interest pieces. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have a tangible sort of um, institutionalized agenda to put all of this work, all of these resources and human labor and capital into, at the end of the day, then it's pointless. And so they have to have this sort of guide, this north star, this guiding light,
Yeah.
that they can not only show, um, to their descendants, their children, their grandchildren, or whatever, but show to their nations, show to their representatives, hey, this is what I've contributed to the culture. This is
Yeah.
this is my sort of
Yeah. This is
piece.
my this is my contribution. Yeah.
Correct. And
And
and go
to
ahead.
them, and also to the future generation, to my grandchildren, to my great grandchildren. I want to start momentum. You know, PhDs, wealth, CEOs, that kind of stuff. You want to start momentum, so it actually filters down to the rest of the generations.
Right. Is it the Toyota model that has the 500-year plan, or
Yeah.
it's one of those Japanese companies that have so-called 500-year plans? I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
it's one of those
And
things
you
where.
you look at Joseph Kennedy, right? Uh, he moved from being a bootlegger to a stock
Right.
mogul to a wealthy guy, so that his sons could be uh, president of the United States and politicians and moving on those levels. So that those are those kind of guys. That's where culture comes in. Who you marry actually makes a difference too, because
Right. I
she's
mean,
there training the children for the next generation. Go ahead.
yes. No. 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 I know absolutely. And that's strategy.
Hmm.
And that's what that's where the mentorship comes in. That's where the men and women who have been there, who understand these various nuances and idiosyncrasies of the human condition, come in, you know coming under their tutelage, their mentorship, um, and you know following a path, or constructing a path
No,
forward.
hold on, Eric, back off, man. Calm down. That's about the third question you asked about cousin T-Talk. All right,
Well,
back off.
this one I can, no, I can answer that. No, I have been married, and I do have children. So yes,
Okay,
so I have the experience.
okay. I don't know why that's important, but anyway.
Well, I think I think people like to hear information from people who have been there and done that.
Okay.
And yes, she was a FBA woman. If I don't know if you say FBA or ADOS, but yes, she's a black woman, and I
Yeah.
have a black child. so
And
so
he's from Chicago,
I'm
so
from the
he's
South Side of Chicago. So so anyway, but no, that's a good question. That's valid. In any
okay.
case, when we talk about yeah, we just go through the various levels of the octane. Um, and again, I mean, hopefully, I'm hoping that you go to the male side of it.
I have to now.
We
Well,
have
go
to,
ahead.
because again, so I mean, we're talking about a male space, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about we're a space where we focus on the men, but um, we have to feature the women because we're natural counterparts, and at the end of the day, that's why this work is done, so that we can
Okay.
better understand who we are um, with each other. Oh, you have a
Okay.
question right here.
Yeah, I said, Sonny Houston of The View said the professional black women cannot afford to marry down because doing so will prevent building and passing on generational wealth, which is true. What are the thoughts on this? Okay. The problem is with her thing is about black. She talked about all black women. But professional black women don't have a choice, right? Okay. Um, there's not enough guys to go around. If they can marry up, they would. If they marry sideways, they would. But the thing is, if you only have 2% of single men that are at that level, you don't have much choice. And professional is a wide range. You're gonna have to settle, okay? Because the way feminists have actually set up the society, where 40% of women actually out earn their men, guess what you have to take? Guys that don't earn as much as you. That's what Iyanla was trying to tell Ebony K about most women, not about her, but most women. Okay, you have to take a bus driver because they put you in that position. Okay, if you want to go back to the way it was, guess what you have to do? You have to reorganize the society where men get first dibs at jobs, at education, and loans and that kind of stuff. If you want that kind of deal, the society is not set up anymore for that kind of deal, which is traditional. Okay, they want an egalitarian society. That's what they want. So women are going to have to take lower class guys. They just start. If you can get a woman, get a man that's ambitious, get a man that's if you get a man that's educated, that has a regular job, that's actually going to raise good children, take him. Okay, he'll do just as well. Just like a woman that's that a professional guy takes that's a regular woman, but she's a school teacher or she's uh, a counselor or something like that. He can take her because she can actually raise good children, and actually pass those values on. So what she's saying is that it's a perfect world. It's fine, but thing is, we don't live in a perfect world. Now that's what it's trying to say about MDK. Okay, a lot of that stuff is not possible anymore. So
Right, and I think that that's a very important conversation to have. If I could just add to
go ahead.
that,
Hmm.
speaking of the Ebony K, the initial interview with Iyanla, um, I think Ebony mentioned that she dated a bohemian guy, an artist,
He, oh yeah, yeah.
or of some sort, um,
Hmm.
but clearly he didn't meet her expectations in terms of social positioning.
No
Um,
ambition.
right. I think that there needs to be a redefinition or a redefining of what that means and
Hmm.
how that translates into society going forward. Because right now there's a very, very, very um, big push towards solidifying cultural estates. And I know culture that's not a term that we use in a lot of spaces. Um, but when we talk about the new wave with artificial intelligence
Mm.
systems, and I don't want to
Yeah.
go off into that tangent or whatever.
The thing is that horse is already out the barn, man. It's gonna go bonkers.
Yes, and so the 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 value where it was historically placed on status, I think it's going to shift towards what what is a tangible cultural asset,
Hmm.
um, as opposed to a synthesized sort of image
Okay.
or product.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. She was the grand to basically okay for high 92s, 100 octane chicks, right? Lifestyle is most important, right? Ambition is most important. If you're creative but you're not ambitious to move to the next level, she's gonna leave you behind. She's supposed to give you hell. She's a partner, not a wife. Okay, I can't emphasize that enough. Take a chick on like that. She's your partner. She's your business partner. She's not really a wife. Okay, got to
Can I tell
understand
you?
that going in. Go ahead.
Let me tell you what happened.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
She disapproved of his roster. Okay, he had outside. You know, he had some strength. Because let's be clear, right in alignment with the upper echelons of society are art galleries, art openings, art sort
Yeah.
of presentations. She could have easily linked him up with some dealers, linked him
Mm,
up with you know, art projects that are happening. Um, he could have, you know, I don't know what media he worked with, but there's an entire scene that she could have connected him with, philanthropists, uh,
uh-huh.
you know, just in executive boardrooms. They have a lot of artists who create and who produce pieces, you know, that are set pieces, that are mood pieces, that are, you know, pieces specifically for the galleries contained in these major institutions. So let's not act like he just didn't do enough. I think that he has some outside help that she, to quote BB King, some outside help that she didn't approve of. It wasn't
Okay.
just that he necessarily wasn't footing the bill. Um, she did not want to invest in his lifestyle fully. Let's just be clear
He,
about
he
it.
didn't have enough for it to invest in his lifestyle. For He didn't have enough money to qualify for that kind of
Well,
lifestyle.
he wasn't fully cooperating with whatever she felt
Okay.
was the
Was it?
required dynamic.
Yeah.
Because you know these artistic types,
Yeah. I
they
know.
need carnal inspiration. Okay, so I mean, we're not gonna get into Dali, we're not gonna get into Picasso, we're not gonna get into, you know, for anybody who enjoys black uh, Harlem Renaissance artist Archibald Motley. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we ain't gonna get into all of them, but just from the creative perspective, when you're engaging with the creative, so the female creative side on the octane scale would be
Mm.
the 87, 89.
Yeah. The
Okay,
89. Yeah.
um
Bohemian chicks. Yeah.
the Bohemian, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So um let's not play around that their appetite, okay, for sensual and intimate expression,
Hmm.
you know, isn't expansive. They have a very expansive palette in
They do.
terms of,
Yeah.
you
Yes, they
know,
do. Yes, they do.
so but and therein where you need to understand who you are, you learn yourself. Okay,
Hmm.
are you comfortable with that? Do you know how, do you have an appreciation for it? Can you deal with that? um you know, your woman wanting to run naked through forests and fields, you know, and be one with Ma'at and Gaia, you know. So you know, it's two sides to that coin. A 92 octane man
Mm.
who's entertaining, you know, this beautiful uh, muse
Yeah.
who, you know, is connected to um, you know, these
Yeah.
art school, to
Eh,
these
eh,
societies.
That's why she's a side chick and not the wife.
Thank you. Listen. The roster. I'm gonna preach the gospel of the roster, no, at nauseum. But um, with that, you have to be able to manage that dynamic. You have to present that understanding that, hey, you're the queen bee. You're at the top of this dynamic. Okay, this is the structure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bringing you into this structure, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you instructions. Uh oh. Uh,
Creepy, he's creeping over, Scorpio. Come on now.
right, but I
Come
think
on,
that
come back on this side for a second.
right. Look. Bring me back. No,
Bring it back.
but again, that's why. See, um, that's why I can appreciate again, just to bring it back, the model of the octane scale, because you're giving people, but men in particular, a broader perspective of what the social landscape looks like, and
Mm,
how to make sense of, I'm going to say 50 million. People keep saying 48 million,
yeah.
but how the cultural expression of cultural socioeconomic expression of 48 to 50 plus million people plays
Hmm.
out, and how to get in where you fit in terms
Hmm.
of making this work. So you ain't talk about the diesels, but I ain't gonna trip on that.
The diesels, in this culture, the diesels so intermixed with 100 octane guys is ridiculous, right? They're finding their way in, and with social media, they're bringing themselves out into the public, which is the problem.
Yeah, and again, that's another conversation for another day. Because the diesel chick used to have a status.
Yeah,
Now she's too accessible, right? That uh, that octane grade is too accessible now.
yeah,
OnlyFans,
yeah,
IG.
yeah,
Um, there's so many platforms that allow women to leverage their sensuality,
yeah.
that the prestige. I don't know. Okay, I'll take that word back. But the mystique. There you go. The mystique
Yeah.
of the
Uh
diesel
huh.
woman. Okay, I think it's dissolving.
Well,
It's dissolving into the greater fabric.
yeah, they belong in a shadow world, and the shadow world is not shadow anymore because of social media.
Yeah, yeah.
It's coming into
Um,
the light.
but you're getting a lot of different dynamics as a result. You're getting a lot of women who thought that they may have been cut out for the diesel world, and are finding that they are not, because that world can and will chew you up and spit you out if you're not built that way. So
Yeah.
so a lot of women who historically were diesels, or okay, so let's just say what that is, and the sex work,
Sex
or
workers. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, women of the night, strippers, escorts, um,
IG, certain OnlyFans, IG
right, pay for
models,
play, pay for
pay for
play,
play. Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
just so people have,
Yeah.
so historically you have to be cut out for that.
Yeah.
And yes, there are women throughout time who are cut out for that. That's why it's called the oldest profession, so-called
Hmm.
oldest
Yeah.
profession. However, there it has its own initiation. It has its own training spaces.
Yep.
You know, there's an entire conversation that can be had about that particular um, octane scale. And so, but
Yeah.
however, there's a component of femininity involved in that a lot of women, modern women, believe that they can touch, and what they're finding out is
Yeah. They're not built for it.
they are not built for it.
Yeah.
They don't qualify for it,
Nope.
um, because you need to be able to arouse the average man,
Hmm.
okay, with your presence,
Yeah.
not your presence, and beyond your presence, your performance.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to be able to throw it to the side, and rotate one cheek at a time. And,
Yeah.
you know,
But you see a men's shadow if you're actually a diesel female. Can you deal
correct.
with
That
it? 'Cause
very
his
good
shadow
point.
is naked, when you see him. He doesn't have his mask on. So
Very good point.
can you
Very
deal
good
with it?
point.
Can you deal with it? In other words, what he can't tell his wife, he's gonna actually be that with you.
And that's weight. That's heavy,
That's heavy. Yeah.
because now that's going to dissolve her sort of image of
Of men.
the of men,
Yeah, it will.
not only the average man, but so men who she thought were alpha, men
Mm,
who she thought were civic leaders, community leaders, you know, men of
yeah,
note, high value,
yeah,
whatever that means. All of that gets
yeah, yeah,
turned on its head in a space of the the shadow, the
yeah,
space of the
yeah,
id.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You're a sex worker, and you're giving a blowjob for $2,500 to the congressman, right? In his Bentley, he just pull you off the street.
Right. Or
Yeah,
he shot you a DM and now he done flued you out,
yeah,
but you were a kindergarten teacher
yeah.
who just thought you was going to have a side job as an OnlyFans model, and
Mm-hmm.
now you're out of your depth of range.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What are your
Let me
fail
ask.
safes? Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Let me answer this. How does marrying down prevent a woman from building and passing on wealth? That concept makes no sense. One of the most valuable things you can give a child is light and direction of a father. That's true. But thing is, every person, every father is different, right? Okay. Who is the most valuable thing you can actually get from a high value man is connections, is contacts, his Rolodex. It's probably the most important thing. Same thing for a female. Can that man that you're marrying down with give you that? Okay, or can he make up for that? It's more than just money. I always say it's more than just money. It's context, it's education, it's outlook, it's worldview. A worldview of each of these classes is actually different. Okay, uh, a guy that's a 92 corporate guy makes like $200,000 a year. He's not gonna fly a chick out to be with him on a private plane. Okay, different kind of lifestyle. Jet setting lifestyle is different. Okay, than a 92, or different than a working class guy that has to work 100 hours a week. Okay, his worldview is going to be different. What he likes, what he doesn't like, what he eats, his social graces is going to be different. That's the difference that it makes. That's why you have to learn these things. Each class is different for different reasons. Okay, okay, uh, like there's certain guys that raise a kid in suburban lifestyle. Okay, they can't go down to the ghetto and actually interact. Okay, because they weren't raised in that environment. Okay, they're like babes in the wilderness. Okay, they're gonna get eaten. They're not raised in that class. They don't. There's certain things that you learn in certain classes you won't learn in others. There's a reason that you pick a guy or a woman for certain reasons. So a professional woman that wants to move up, she can't marry a guy that's down, all right, unless he has special skills or ambition or something that's particular about him. Okay, it's a case by case basis. For the most part, no. The thing is, at this point, she's going to have to. If she wants a family, she's going to have to do what? Settle, just like men settle. If you want 8, 9, or 10, and you don't qualify in your class, you got to move down. And that's probably the biggest problem that guys that are so-called educated lambs are having. They can't compete for the kind of women that they want in their class. They have to move down, and those women don't respect your class. Okay, just because you educated and have a corporate job doesn't mean she's going to respect you because you're not of her class. Even though she looks good and she's pretty, she might be a 9. As a working class girl. But the thing is, you can't get her because guess what? What you have in your class doesn't mean anything to her unless you're of a baller class, like a higher level drug dealer or an entertainer. That's different. Okay. But thing is, as a corporate guy, you're boring to her. So that's why all these classes make a difference. That's what she said. Women, especially of that level, are actually complaining because there's not enough guys. They can't compete for the guys that are in their class. Then they have to move down, and they don't want to. Simple as that. Not enough guys to go around. You have to compete harder, and they're not. You have to go downward if you want to get married to have a family. So that's what it is. So you have to settle, and black women don't like to settle. Most women don't like to settle.
So can we point out a potential elephant in the room?
Who's that?
I mean, listen, you're speaking facts. First of all, you know, so a lot of things that you just said. But I just want to. Okay, so let me touch on the last thing that you said in terms of 92 octane women, professional women, um, dating down or
Right.
needing to date down. They
Right.
don't necessarily date down. What that speaks to is a greater issue in those spaces,
Mm-hmm.
and that is mentorship of the next generation and creating pipelines. So
Right.
anybody who's ever worked in corporate America can appreciate the value of a pipeline.
Yep.
When you and this speaks to another thing that you mentioned, and hopefully we get enough time to touch on that this evening.
Yeah.
But
And we have about 15 more minutes, and we're
okay,
gonna wrap
all
it up.
right. So all right, I'll make it quick. When we hear all these women in the 92 octane class, the professional class, white collar class, lament about there not being enough men in those spaces, who are you mentoring?
Right.
Who
Right.
have you created a ladder or bridge or extended or pipeline? So
Mm-hmm.
in those spaces, creating a pipeline means, for example, Indian coders. They have pipelines for other Indian coders or Indian prospects to come into spaces,
Right.
corporate spaces.
Right.
Same thing for other people of the various backgrounds of different demographics. Where are the pipelines that these 92 octane women, black women in particular, are
Mm-hmm.
creating for the men, the type of men that they say
Yeah.
are not there? So that's a smoking gun.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Because they're your competitors and not your helpmates. That's the problem.
right.
Yeah.
So you can't kick the ladder down after you've climbed it and then ask where your counterpart is.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that I want to highlight. The other thing that I want to highlight that I'm glad you mentioned was that when we have the conversation about the high value man. Um, we can't negate uh, Kevin's definition that he brought to this particular space in terms
Mm.
of high value. And the number one thing was the network.
Yeah.
The number one thing was the network. What that means is that you use you've leveraged your skills, you've
Mm-hmm.
leveraged your abilities, you've leveraged um, your value in a space into the connections that could um, get things done. Okay. So if you need a better rate on a rental property that you're looking to buy, if you need to, um, crash somewhere, or if you need a bridge loan, if you need to get someone's nephew hired at a firm, you
Yeah.
have those networked connections. Okay.
Yep.
That it's not, again, not what you know, but who you know.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the hallmarks of a high value man. And I think that when we look at other spaces who try to apply that term
Yeah.
to this,
Yeah.
you know,
Shout out to Rolo Tomasi for trying to crash and
I,
burn.
listen. If you want to have that conversation, we could definitely have that conversation. I was waiting for him to just bite the bullet and say, "Look, maybe I overshot it with the vasectomy thing. However, I am borrowing
Mm-hmm.
a term from the late great Kevin Samuels.
Yeah. That's what he should have said.
Here is how he defined the high value, and
Right.
avoided a lot of this stuff. But obviously, any press is good press. Right now, he's doing different podcasts to try to clean it up. However, if you would have just went to the source, this is why I say we're the source material.
Mm-hmm.
If you just went to the source, one of the tenets, I think it was six tenets that Kevin Samuels mentioned in
Right.
terms of the high value man. One of those primary tenets is the network.
Mm-hmm.
Network. You can be an entry level uh, 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 worker at a law firm making
Right.
$35,000 a year. 35
Mm-hmm.
less than a plumber, less than the electrician, less than whomever, but still be invited to a country club that costs $50,000 a year to
Right.
be a member of.
Right.
You
Yeah.
see how that works?
Yeah.
Just because of the network that you are a part of.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference between being in the 92 octane or even in just a high value network or whatever, and just existing in the other echelons of society, or the other octanes. And that's really one of the key differences that people need to understand and appreciate, um, when you have these conversations about what's the social landscape look like, what are the cultural differences, but how do we fit within, and what do we contribute to, this greater conversation about
Hmm.
how people move, what motivates people, what are the drivers, and how do we create this thing called society.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. It's complex, and feminism has kind of changed the landscape. So, um, but the thing is, Rolo should have actually not even brought it up, because that it actually doesn't know it very well. That's why he crashed and burned.
I see. Okay, you're a very gracious person. You're a very gracious guy.
Well, go spit it out. Spit it
I
out.
I think he doesn't want to give credit to the point of origin.
He,
He doesn't want to cite the source material on that one.
he, I can say it. He was not fond of Kevin Samuels. Let's put it that way.
Oh, of course not. Are you kidding? I mean, look, just look at look at the dynamics, and look at the impact.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
the trajectory and all that shit.
All
But
that stuff.
but I mean, at the end of the day, despite the bullet, every person who was a critic
Yeah.
of Rolo's response to um, the tweet or whatever,
Hmm.
any subsequent conversation, any critic would have understood and accepted. Hey, I may have misstated, what these points of a high value man are.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is where I got it. This is the source material, Kevin Samuels, and let me quote him verbatim just so that I get it right,
Yeah.
and then move on.
Yeah. Move on. Yeah. Yep.
But this is the world we live in, and hey, it's great for it's must see TV, right?
That is the white manosphere versus the black manosphere, right?
Oh,
We're still the stepchildren. You know.
listen, all day, every day, and listen. If I gotta wear the red hair,
Uh-huh.
I'll wear it. I'll be the redheaded stepchild.
But them green eyes got to go, Negro. Okay.
Oh, listen, it's all to the good. It's all as long as I can stay real. Hey, that's all I want at the end of the day. That's all that
we
matters to me.
we got time for one more question, and we're gonna bounce.
Okay.
One more question. What we got? Let me see. I guess they got them all answered. Said I assume this is a cross race. High value man. Okay. Yeah, it is a cross race. Basically, Kevin defined it as the kind of guy that most women want. Okay, that masters at the universe level. Okay, high value man, right? That's what they want. You know, mid six figures, have a broad network, connections, all that kind of stuff. There's wiggle room as far as the definition is concerned, but thing is, that's where it starts, and then it works its way down to the like the six tenets. Like I said, valuable to the network, has a network, value to the network, um, uh, and other things. Like I can't remember all the six, but thing is, yeah, but that's where it starts. Okay, define it that way first, and then move your way down. Who's high value to? It's high value to women that most women actually want. Okay, that's where how he defines it. And, and the other six are what makes up a high value man. Spirituality, yeah, that kind of stuff is negligible. He could be an atheist. The thing is, does he have these core tenets, and is he that person? That's what makes up that person. And Rolo just screwed it up, but he'll get it together. Anyway, we're gonna let cousin go. Cousin, you want to pitch your book, or are you gonna keep that secret?
No, no, no. Definitely give me the opportunity. I appreciate it. My book is called The Seduction of Scriptures. Let's be clear. My contribution to this thing called game, or the ultimate, the overall conversation that we're having in these spaces, is I promote the skill sets of seduction, which center around you understanding who you are, understanding the self, so that you can ultimately connect to the type of woman that you desire to acquire, and structure the type of relationship that brings you the success on your mission of masculine mastery. So
It-
this seduction scripture is the name of the book.
and it's actually built for. I will tell you right up front, built for 89 octanes and up. Okay, for the most part, 89 octanes and up because they're more sophisticated and more complex. Okay, that's what this book's actually for. If you want to move up into the range, you want to understand a 92 octane, read that book. That's what it's
Yeah,
basically geared for. Those kind with her education, how she thinks, her mindset, her network, her Fey group. Okay, it all goes into that. Okay,
yes, yes. Because as BGS mentioned earlier, listen. Okay, so
85, 85s are a no go for
listen
for the scrolls. Okay,
to the point.
87 is iffy. Okay, 89 and up. Okay, let's
Listen,
be
listen.
honest.
To the point of when I printed the book, when I published the book, I did not include the 85
he
octane.
he did not. Okay,
It's not even in print. They they
he,
exist.
he,
Listen,
he
they
he
exist. We
might
have to
include
acknowledge.
he includes the diesels before he includes the
I
85s. Let's put
did.
it that way.
Listen, I did. Listen, I got a shout out to my sister and then brethren. I got to listen. I will always have love for Diesel. I may be an outlier. I'm admittedly an outlier, but Diesel to my heart. The next book may be promoting the theory of seduction as a therapeutic modality. Listen,
Yeah,
listen. Let's
yeah,
get into it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Let's
yeah,
calm them down and get them
yeah, yeah,
centered with
yeah.
seduction.
The black pill people ain't no joke. Okay,
Oh, listen, truth. True. So
black people ain't no
thank you
joke.
very much. Another great presentation.
Oh, I
I,
thank you
I
for
look,
coming up, man. It's a treat. So
I look forward to
you
to
and
the
my
next one.
PhDs are a treat, man. So I enjoy having you guys around. Uh, so if I have time, we'll actually answer these questions tomorrow. Since I didn't get to them today. You said is a night. Hold on. Is a 92 still a 92 with an 80? Yeah, those are climbers. Okay, 92 climbers actually come from 85 octane families. Okay, they're kind of embarrassed about them. That's why you don't see them very much. You probably see her Fay group before you see her family. Okay,
Right, right,
so those are the if you're white, those would be the trailer park folks that she doesn't go around very much.
right.
You know, so if you get married, you have to meet the family. Okay, she's gonna have to have a long explanation about what they're like. Okay, all right. They're common people. They're ghetto people. Got to understand. So when you meet them, don't be shocked. So those but climbers are like that. They have very salt of the earth parents. Look at Molly. Molly's parents were salt of the earth. Okay, and her brothers were on borderline ghetto. You know, with marrying baby mamas and stuff like that. So and she was always embarrassed to actually bring them around until outside of her circle, right? So guys would probably never meet their parents, her parents. Okay, like it was like the guy she married. It took a long time for her to actually meet, for him, actually introduce him to her parents because they're not of that class. But those are climbers. If you want to know what Ebony K. Williams, look at Molly. Molly is the quintessential climber from a ghetto girl or 87 octane chick to a 92, high 92. And she's a lawyer just like Ebony. You know, so with a working class mother. So that's why I use her as a model because she actually is a 92 all wrapped up into certain uh, archetypes. And she Ebony K. Williams sounds exactly like Molly on Insecure, down to
Absolutely.
the looking down her nose at people. Same shit.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, cousin. I'm gonna bounce off of here. So,
All
uh,
right. Peace to you. Peace to the chat.
if you want to, you can actually put your link into your book into the chat if you want to, so people can
Oh
go to
Lord,
it
if I
if
have
you
that
can
time.
find it.
Right.
It's on. Is it on? It's on Amazon, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's on Amazon. Just go to Amazon, and just type in the seduction scriptures, and it'll come up. So thank you again for the opportunity. Thank you to the chat, and we look forward to the next presentation you got.
Yeah. Now I have to do the minute. Okay. Here it is. Okay. I'll show the paperback. Beautiful book, though.
Thank you. Can't
There
wait
it
to
is.
see it. Yeah, there it is. Listen. Listen, I'm not going to start another conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
This is another
We be
topic.
talking on. We talking all night. Yeah.
All right.
You can come back. You can come back when I do the guys if you want to.
Okay, yeah,
I'll
do
give.
that.
I'll give you a heads up.
Just know that with the infinity symbol that's in the middle of the book, there was sort of a heads up that the metaverse icon was going to be something like that. Um, because it's all about the wave at the point in time. So
Are you are you on Rom's thing this week or is it next week?
next week,
Next week.
next week the webinar for
Okay. Okay.
yeah, God level game is coming up. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. We can get into AI and all that kind of crap. Then.
let people know we start with one thing.
Yeah.
We start with one thing, but we sneak into other stuff. Quiet as kept. We sneak in the real deal Holyfield stuff.
Yeah. And the pregame and
Part
the
midway through the presentation
who
and the
brings
post.
this
Yeah,
stuff up by the way.
listen. It depends on who if set people decide to show up. So um, yeah, so everybody, check out Ron Will's his channel. Click on the links. You will not be disappointed. If you think that we had a high level conversation over here,
Yeah.
just
Oh
imagine
yeah.
what's happening
Behind the
behind the
behind the
scenes.
scenes. Yes. Yes.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, peace to you, peace to the chat. Thank you again for the opportunity. We'll see you in the next one.
All right. Thanks, Tita.
Salute.
Salute. All right, folks. Okay. Uh, um, uh, I remember cousin Tita mentioned 30K is basic, but thing is who you connected to. Okay, that's the issue. Yeah. The thing is stuff is stuff that's basic in on his channel, but the thing is, what is behind the scenes at a higher level. His private stuff is actually more in depth. That's what he's talking about. There are the thing is I classify as the 92s that make 35K as 89s. Okay, they're flexible. Okay, those are guys that basically haven't taken the corporate job and moved their way up. So they're like 89s. Got a bunch of 89s that are they have master's degrees, but they're working like $40,000 a year jobs. They have the ability to actually earn more, but the thing is, do they want to? Those are 89s. Yeah, you are late as hell. But things got to catch it on the replay. Shout out to cousin Tita. Let me put his book into the. I think I put it. I think I put the link into the chat. Let me do it again and give him a shout out on his book. Uh, Section scriptures. If you want to, if you're chasing 89s and up, this is the book for you. I'm going to paste it into the chat. You hit the link, and we're going to be out. Oops, too big. All right, damn. All right, let's see if we can do it another way. Let's see if it'll do it for. So we do a paperback, give you a different one. I think so. Make sure he gets a hit. And go to his channel and take his behind the scenes advice. If you're chasing a 92 and up, you want to move up, he's your guy. But 89s and up, though. I probably could. I probably could. Anyway, all right, folks, I'm out. We at 2.5 hours, which is much longer than my dailies. It was a treat. So we're out. Okay. See you guys next time. Yeah, you can hit the Cash App if you want to. I'll thank you guys probably tomorrow. So they didn't have a chance to actually do it today. So I'll actually do a separate video with thank yous for you guys later on or tomorrow. Okay. Appreciate you. With that, I'm out of here. Peace.